Deep beneath the roots of a friendly old oak tree, in a den that smelled of warm earth and sweet pine needles, lived a young fox cub named Fenn. His home was the coziest place in the whole wide wood. It was shared with his mother and his 5 brothers and sisters, a tumbling, fumbling, fluffy pile of fox cubs. Every night was the same. After a day of pouncing on crunchy leaves and chasing grasshoppers, Mother Fox would call them in. "Bedtime, my little ones," she would say, her voice as soft as moss. They would all curl up together in a big, warm heap of orange fur. And that's where the trouble began for Fenn. He loved his family more than anything, but bedtime was another story. Just as he would find the perfect position, a brother's paw would land on his head. Just as he was about to drift off to sleep, a sister's tail would swish across his nose, making him sneeze. They wiggled, they twitched, they kicked with their dreamy running feet. "Oof," Fenn grumbled one night as a sleepy sibling rolled right on top of him. "There's no room in here." He wriggled his way out of the warm pile. He looked at the soft, breathing heap of his family and made a very big decision. "Mother," he whispered, puffing out his chest to look as grown-up as he could, "I am going to find my own sleeping spot, a spot just for me." Mother Fox opened one amber eye and smiled gently. She gave him a soft lick on the forehead. "All right, my little adventurer," she said. "The world is a big bedroom, but remember, your spot right here will always be warm and waiting for you." Fenn felt a thrill of excitement. He was going on his first solo nighttime adventure. He padded out of the den's entrance and into the cool, quiet forest. The moon was a silver coin in the dark, velvet sky, and the trees whispered secrets to the wind. Fenn felt brave and very important. Soon, he found what looked like the perfect place. A long, hollow log. My very own tunnel, he thought gleefully. It was private and sheltered, all his. He crawled inside. But the floor of the log was surprisingly hard and cold against his belly. It smelled of damp wood and something else. Something musty. Scritch, scratch. Chitter, chitter. Strange little noises echoed inside the log. A long-legged beetle scurried past his nose, and Fenn shivered. This wasn't cozy at all. It was cold and a little bit creepy. He backed out of the log and continued his search. A little further on, he saw a giant fern, its huge leaves drooping down to the ground like a soft green tent. "Ah, a leafy roof," he declared. "This will be much better." He nestled underneath the feathery fronds. It was soft, and the leaves hid him from the big, dark woods. He closed his eyes. Plink, a single drop of cold water landed on his ear. Plunk, another one landed right on his nose. He realized the leaves were heavy with nighttime dew, and they dripped. Plink, plop, plink. It was like a tiny, chilly rainstorm that wouldn't stop. Just then, a deep voice echoed through the trees. "Hoo hoo hoo hoo!" Fenn's ears flattened. He knew it was just Old Man Owl. But when he was in his snug den, the sound was a distant, sleepy lullaby. Out here, under the dripping fern, it sounded so loud, so close, and so very lonely. His fur was damp, and his heart was thumping. This spot was no good either. He trotted on, feeling a little less brave now. His paws were tired. Then he saw it, a patch of moss beside a cluster of mushrooms. It was thick and springy and glowed a gentle green in the moonlight. "Oh, this is it," he sighed with relief. As soft as a dandelion puff. He curled into a tight ball on the mossy bed. It was wonderfully comfortable. he closed his eyes, ready for sleep at last. Whoosh! A strong gust of wind swept across the clearing. It blew right through Fenn's fur, chilling him right down to his bones. Out in the open, there were no warm bodies to block the wind, no cozy den walls to keep it out. The trees creaked and groaned around him. He looked up at the big, faraway moon and suddenly felt very, very small. He wasn't a brave adventurer. He was just a cold, damp, and lonely little fox cub. A tear welled up in his eye. He thought about the cold log, the dripping fern, and the windy moss. None of them were perfect. He realized the perfect sleeping spot wasn't about having lots of space. It was about feeling safe. It was about feeling warm. It was about feeling loved. The wiggles and kicks from his siblings weren't so bad after all. With a new purpose, Fenn turned and scurried back the way he came. His little legs moved faster and faster as the familiar scent of home grew stronger. Soon, he saw the dark opening under the oak tree roots, glowing with a feeling of warmth. His mother was waiting at the entrance, as if she knew he'd be back. She didn't ask where he'd been. She didn't say, "I told you so." She simply lowered her head and gave him a long, loving nuzzle that warmed him all over. "Your spot is still here, my love," she whispered. Fenn padded quietly back to the sleeping pile. He found a little gap and carefully snuggled his way in. A brother gave a sleepy kick, and Fenn felt it brush his back. A sister's tail flicked his ear. But this time, it was different. The kick wasn't an annoyance. It was a warm reminder that his brother was there. The flick of the tail wasn't a bother. It was part of the soft, furry blanket they all shared. The combined heat from all their bodies seeped into his bones, chasing away the last of the night's chill. The gentle snores and tiny, sleepy whimpers were no longer a disturbance. They were the most beautiful lullaby he had ever heard. The wiggles weren't wiggles anymore. They were a gentle, warm hug that held him tight. Fenn snuggled deeper, his nose tucked under his own fluffy tail. He was surrounded by the comforting scent of his family and the gentle rhythm of their breathing. This, he knew with all his heart, was the most perfect, most wonderful sleeping spot in the entire world. And with a happy, contented sigh, he drifted off into the sweetest, warmest dream.